Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm back and I'm mad.
Hola, we're online. Welcome
Peggy.
to the first trip around the sun.
That's a bunny.
Danley, Grimwolf, Hazy Boy. As you can see, we are not to be seen.
I'm naked.
for all you know, possible. I've got myself some wine gums.
I've got big bags of resin, but they're not for eating.
It's
Not for eating.
it says taste of British Isles. Well, so we'll see how that works.
Are they sugar-free?
Nope. Sugar from the EU.
That's a shame.
Made in Germany after an English recipe. So the packaging
It's a new taste then. Is that what you're saying?
We'll see. See, there it is. Our wine
I
gums
don't have wine gums.
are made after a traditional English recipe in 6 tasty flavors.
Sure.
Citrus, apple, oh god,
Badger,
orange.
Brussels sprouts, roast beef, boiled carrots. Covering all the bases.
Something, I don't know words. Can only go upwards from here. So, well, actually, not that bad. Put them to side.
I don't have wine gums.
I'm getting myself something to drink. But since I need to be responsible because of bloody work currently, I need to stay at lemonade levels for the time being. And the worst thing is, tomorrow when you and Ben are having a laugh and are
Yes.
totally not controlled by Warren, I'm going to be in the office, so I'm literally unable to have any enjoyment.
Oh, that is terrible. Terry balls.
It is. So,
And in that case, may I just wish you Lefelia Podrig Honagich. Happy
bless
St.
you
Patrick's
too.
Day to you in advance, since you're not going to.
yes. And that's same to you, my friend, and I'm hoping that this light will now not blind the audience. Oh, it looks like it's going to be well.
Cool. Where'd you go? Huh?
So, Jerry and I had thought, since this is a hobby hangout, and
Yes.
we never did any actual hobby on stream, not counting the days when Jerry was cleaning up miniatures in the background, we might as well do some hobby tonight and just talk about the hobby in general, or if people have questions, you may ask. How are the days? The giveaway is we give away fucks. Lots of them.
See, you say that, but unfortunately, if you look in the field where I grow my fucks, you will find it as barren and empty. No more fucks to give.
I've got no
What?
more fucks to give.
What are you painting then?
So I'm painting first off bases and then Kits on Wheels, the last Kickstarter by Morg Miniatures. I've primed them black and a white zenithal highlight. Usually I don't paint my base before I paint miniatures, but since I want these to look like a tarmac-y style, I think dry brushing before adding the miniature is a reasonable way to go.
That's a good plan.
Oh, you bastard. You horrible, horrible man.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, at least you're going in slowly and with some sort of lubricant, so I think I'm good.
We see, I was going to paint them, right?
Yes.
And then I had him cleaned up, primed him on his base and his little droid. He comes with a little droid. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
Tiny little droid that sits on his little floaty lava base. It's not quite Mustafar, but it's not a million miles away. And then I got me see if I can do this so people can actually see it at home. If I do this...
He's white.
We have the added benefit here of there being a delay. So when I'm attempting to focus this, I've got to wait 10 seconds. Oh, man. Apparently I was in and then out again.
Yes, you were.
Oh,
Stop.
life's a bitch. Okay. So, gift from a friend. So fuck all, mate. And it was bought at the convention, so whatever price it was at the convention. So I started doing it, and then I realised I've missed a bit of cleanup on the shoulder there. You may not be able to see it, but there's a fucking mold line on that shoulder.
You need to get yourself another one.
Oh, worse than that. Whenever I was out, because obviously they've just 3D printed this and then cast it. Oh, that's very bright. Let me see if I can not blow that out. Down, 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 down. Oh, maybe. There's a big fuck off step line from the 3D print showing even when you get something in beautiful resin that's been 3D printed, because it's been 3D printed, it's wank. So there's a big step line right across the middle of that, which I hadn't noticed until I
cleaned up the lines. That's bad.
Well, you know, I don't mind some of it because some of it around the back end. I take my glasses off here so I can see shit. Some of it around the back, the stepping could be misconstrued as fabric, like texture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's okay. But that is a noticeable ridge line. It's like a fucking ruler just right across the middle. I did go the whole hog of just cutting the end of his lightsaber off and fucking that away though, so that was good. Because that's good, because that's going to be replaced with a little piece of blue acrylic rod, which I've already cut and shaped somewhere. But I did that a couple of days ago, so I'm not entirely certain where somewhere is anymore.
Over the rainbow, like we heard in the song.
Well, I don't even know what way around I'm going. Oh, that looks sharply focused. Or maybe not. Oh, that looks not in focus at all. Oh, this is delightful. Yeah, but I don't know what way.
The other one.
The other one, you reckon?
Yes, perfect.
You say that's perfect. That's super out of focus. Oh, there we go. 10-second delay. Pain in the hole. So I do have him. I might do him. But what I also have is a set of shivers from Slay Industries.
So you're going to play with miniatures in our RPG then?
Am I fuck? I'd rather cut my own ball bag off. Fuck's sake. No, these are for Stargrave. But I've hit them with a Zenith and then hit them with a yellow ink and a red ink because I want to eventually do them in like a military olive green. But I'm planning on doing that via the medium of oils over the top. So hopefully I should still get those sort of highlights of the yellow and then the reds turning into a reddish brown under it. So I've done a little squad of 5 off just to see how it goes. That's my plan. I'll start with them and then maybe I'll go back to Ben. Maybe.
So, Grimwolf asked
himself.
what we were looking forward to the IMG weekend. I'm not sure you're aware of what is happening in the coming days, Jerry?
No, but unless they're going to announce stuff that wasn't coming out for the rest of the year when they announced the stuff earlier, I don't care. Because they've went, we're going to release most of the stuff for something you're not collecting. And I went, oh, well, I'll see you in 2022 then, lads.
Possibly the very last part they are going to discuss things about unreleased projects, if I recall correctly. So at Saturday noon around the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing if we get any news, then that will be the news, because Yoda actually has its own slot. the leaked release of Yoda as a character in Star Wars Legion. And the rest is Marvel and what's its face, X-Wing and Armada.
They need to do something because they can't go, we're releasing a ton of stuff and none of it's going to be for proper Star Wars. It's all going to be for the kiddie Star Wars. Because, you know, adults then won't give a shit about them.
The ones with the money, you mean?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you how I hate dry brushing? I never seem to get the mixture right. Either it's too few paint on the brush or way too much. I'm not able to make it a consistent paint job. I'm bad at this. Who cares?
Ah, don't worry about it. We forgive you.
That's very generous of you.
I thought so. Don't expect that often, mind you.
Also, Alloyd, I saw your little ships you've got from Plastic Soldier Company, and I was tempted to get some, but for some odd reasons they really want a insane amount of shipping to Germany.
Yeah, they're
£10 a bag per ship is nice, but they want an additional £8 for untracked shipping, and even I think double for tracked shipping.
Yeah, I don't think it's been announced yet, but they are setting up a distribution company in Europe. So I don't know how that will be, but I imagine because of all the winning of Brexit, that's the reason behind that. When you win so hard that you have to tell your manufacturers in your country to go and set up in the country you've just left, that's how you know you're winning.
Yeah, and actually you're winning so hard that you are going to buy more atom bombs.
Yeah,
buy
well,
all the nukes.
That's fine. They all get sent up to Scotland. The Scots fucking hate it.
I actually, when I read that headline, I thought to myself, is it April's Fool's Day already? Who in his right mind is buying nukes these days? Well,
Russians.
Obviously, no, though they produce and sell. And make good money with it. But obviously Boris is buying.
Of course Boris is buying. He's a fucking wab smack.
So,
I think that's the...
What will I use for a flash color for those teenagers?
Pink.
There's the choice to be made: Army Painter Barbarian Flash,
Right.
Citadel Bronzed Flash.
Barbarian, I think, is pinker, isn't it?
A wee bit, yeah.
I go with that then.
The Bronze Flash is a little bit more orangey.
Yeah. Always has been. Always will be. Hot pink would be amazing.
Yeah, but I don't think it would fit the style. I think some shirt or trousers may get a weird weird color scheme.
Surely you've got pictures from your teenage years, Kimberly.
Oh, even if I would have, those wouldn't be suitable for these paint jobs because
Oh, of course they would.
never was somebody who was you could call being dressed up. So now everybody will see how bad I am at actually painting.
That's alright. Just do what I do. Keep the camera so far away and out of focus that nobody can tell what the fuck you're doing.
Here's my brush. There's my brush.
That's how the magic happens.
Wrong brush.
Oh, that's a lovely green. I think that's a nice green. Let's go with that as green.
A happy little green.
I think they've started to get some of them back in, Grim. Just not sure how many.
Yes, Dutch, you are going to watch paint dry. That's the reason behind this. And I'm trying to stay on camera, so be grateful.
Again, you know, there's no particular reason to do that. Nobody really cares.
Possibly, yes. Also, might I say, I'm very pleased with my wet palette. It has been sitting in the corner for weeks now, very moist, and there has been zero, what you call it, fungus, sponges, and
always a win. my web palette's underneath in case I decide to go and have a play with Obi-Wan. I brought it in out of the other room where it's been since before Christmas when I was doing the Milestone 4.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly Milestone 3. I can't remember. Wherever fucking one it was at. And the green and all is still actually wet on it.
Mm.
Which is always good.
And it didn't start talking to you.
No.
It's no book after all.
No, and that is true. Should I use that? Yes, because I got this paintbrush from Scale Color, and it's balls. It lost its tip almost within like a minute of me fucking using it, so it's going to be consigned to the dust.
Panzer, to what are you referring? Which one I have? I may have missed the question. Are you talking about primer or? Wet palette. It's the Army Painter one with the very much highly usable upper container for small things like brushes. It works really well. The Army Painter thing is it's a decent product for a decent price. It's nothing that makes you go orgasm, but it gets the job done. I'm very happy with it. Could be worse.
Oh my god, apparently I'm allergic to painting.
You're allergic to painting?
Must be, I just sneezed.
Oh, bad. But you remember to mute yourself and not to take off your headset in its entirety.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
I know about the Redgrass one removed, but I think that was on Kickstarter way before Army Painter made theirs and was a relatively expensive one compared to the...
That's the one I use, Redgrass. That's the Army Paint, or no, the Redgrass Studio.
Yeah, I think that's the major advantage of the Redgrass one. You can get it in a bigger size. The Army Painters are rather small.
Well, for me, the biggest advantage of the Redgrass one,
it was free. It was a review sample. I got it to review. But no, because we got sent an Army Painter one as well, and I just didn't like the Army Painter one. I left that in the studio for Lloyd, and took the Redgrass one. Yeah, the German YouTube channel Table Talk Workshop had made a comparison between different brands of wet palettes, including DIY mades, and wasn't too fond about the Army Painter one because it doesn't seal right. So
I had exactly the same issue.
The lid isn't straight on. That being said, it holds its moisture. I don't know which craft that is, but it works.
Like I say, the Redgrass one, I've just opened it up after 3 to 4 months, and it was still moist, and the paint was still moist because it has an actual rubber seal around it. It also has these really cute little, I think these are separate. You can get little wells, and then the wells are magnetic.
Yeah, I very much like
which I think is cute, so they don't get knocked around or fall away. I really should add more thinners to this, but I'm going to persist in what I'm doing at the moment, so I don't care. Fuck yous. Not the boss of me, right, Darcy from Kildare? So what's everybody doing for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow then?
Come again, please?
What's everybody doing for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow?
Oh, I'm going to be working. I'm guessing most other folk around here will now be joining in to hear Ben go off tomorrow.
He might not. He might be the soul of discretion.
What?
I'm just saying he might. There's no way to know for certain.
Oh, if he will be, I'm going to be very scared.
Gunner fighting's the best way. That's how most people spend St. Paddy's Day up in the Holy Lands.
Is that a popular sport?
Fuck yeah. The Holy Lands, I'd like to point out, is an area of Belfast where it's awful lot of Queen's students who can't hold their drink, apparently. Things have changed since I was there.
Bars have gone broke because you're not there?
Well, yeah.
Did your local barman send you any more photos?
Kerry? No. Not recently. Apparently the Guinness is missing me. Although I imagine by this stage, most of the Guinness that was in the pub has had to go down the drain.
Yeah.
That is the biggest. I mean,
That's
a few
shame.
people have lost their lives, and that's,
Yes.
neither here nor there. But a fuckload of Guinness going down the drain. This Corona thing's a bang out of order. Fucking hell. Something needs to be done.
Will you think of the beer, please?
I always think of the beer.
Yeah, but you would think that something that contains alcohol would be more stable, suitable for long-term storage.
Needs to be a high percentage. Beers obviously have yeast, so unless they're like a living type of ale thing, then they will go off after a while.
A living eel?
Yeah, you can get ales which actually have yeast in them that are still active, unlike a lot of most beers pasteurize them. Essentially, they get them and then top them off. That's interesting. I think I will add more.
More green?
No, more thinner. Can't see your miniature half the time. Can't see my miniature either, but
Well, if I'm not having my glasses on, I wouldn't see my miniature either. So,
Tell you what, I will attempt to refocus to the point I'm painting at, which again will be amusing because I can't see it. Oh, I suppose if I open Skype, I might be able to see it in Skype.
that
Fuck
would
me,
be something.
Hang on, I have to put my glasses on. Oh, holy shitballs. Every day is a Saint Skirt Pants Day. I don't know what that means.
Pants.
Oh, tomorrow is Saint Skirt Pants Day. Yeah. We're with you.
So everybody needs to wear pants? Is that what it's all about?
Nah, not if you can possibly avoid it.
To be honest, being a complete ignorant German who doesn't even give a flying fuck about local customs, what's St. Paddy's Day all about?
Well, it's just a saint's day, so Catholic holy day, but St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland, so it's viewed as a massive piss-up celebration. Or as my brother put it, prepare to receive Talcand, the axe-headed serpent killer of Ireland, as Patrick was apparently prophesied to be. I have a feeling at some point they mixed St. Paddy with a previous Irish prophet / druid in these ways. Where is Skype? There's Skype. Fucking get in
I
there.
think that's a trait of Christianity, mixing and matching things to make it easier for local townsfolk to transition.
That's about in focus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, it's about as in focus as you're going to get. Let's put it like that. Will not go too far.
We are not Midwinter Minis or whatever the other channels are called that do this for a living.
I don't know who any of them are.
People on YouTube doing
Right.
videos about Warhammer Minis.
That's
as
where you
well-
lost me. That's where you lost me. You may as well have went.
I
Should have just
thought
started
as
with their
much.
cunts. No, we're not cunts, is what you should have said there.
We are trying not to be cunts, though occasionally.
Oh, I'm always cuntish. It's a bit more apple green than I would have liked, but I'm going to head with a brown wash afterwards, I think.
It's about Americans who have never even met an Irish wearing green and getting drunk while claiming to be Irish, yeah. Funniest thing is
I can't see the chat anymore. Hang on.
most American I've met aren't even able to handle normal beer or less than whiskey or something. Takes them 2 drinks and they're gone.
That is because a large amount of them were forced out of England because of their religious ideas. And some of those religious ideas were don't drink, don't dance. And then over the years, they've been encouraged to drink, but they've never really been able to do it. Just imagine a couple of 100 years of just consistent inbreeding of sobriety. And then when they finally let their hair down, it's like, wow, let's get a pitcher for the table. What's in a pitcher? Like 2 liters for how many people?
5, 6.
You can tell they don't like to drink because they invented drinking games. I have a drinking game. Go up to the bar and order a fucking round. There you go. It's a drinking game. None of this throw a ping pong ball at a fucking pint a mile away.
Yeah, and
What a load of utter shite.
and the beer is usually something more like a yellow-colored water. At least the ones I've tasted so far.
Just knuckle down and drink, people. You'll be happier for it. You know.
So we know you are going to be on the radio, possibly.
Yes.
What will the rest of the team be doing? Why aren't they joining in the nice, clean family fun that is drinking on air?
Well, I imagine they've got more important things to be doing with their lives. Justin's got his girlfriend down, so he's going to be hammering away at her until the neighbours complain about the smell. Ben, who does all the work, is probably just going to be enjoying his afternoon off.
Or possibly streaming from his PlayStation again.
Well, that's how he enjoys his evening off, with his terrible digital games. Terrible digital games.
Digital games will never catch on.
They won't, you know. It's just a fad. People will look at it in 10 or 15 years' time and go, you know what? We were wrong.
Let's go back to metal miniatures.
Metal miniatures and board games. It's the way to go.
I was tempted to get out the stuffed Fables miniatures for painting after I've seen the news of the second part that is going to get out somewhere down the line of this year, apparently. Which I'm looking forward to because we really enjoyed the first game.
Cool.
It's nice, nice clean family fun.
I've seen the miniatures and they do look terrific.
They have cleaner casts than they have any right to be for pure board game pieces. It's a really astounding quality they got there. I don't know why they bothered to do so. Maybe it's the clean round shapes that adds to the ease of production. I don't know.
Could just be whatever way they decided to do the manufacturing. It happened to be very nice.
Yeah, and then almost no mold lines to be seen. And because most of the miniatures are very round and puffy, those would stand out like a sore thumb.
Somebody should put them in contact with Mantic.
Are you saying Mantic miniatures have a problem with their manufacturing process?
It depends what. Resin, no. Resin is stunning. Walking Dead, terrific. The PVC stuff is very hit and miss. And the League of Infamy boxes that people have been getting are incredibly bananery. So there's a lot of... Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of time spent in the... people are going hot water. I do use hot water on occasion, but if I'm being particularly lazy and can't be arsed going downstairs, I just hit things with a hairdryer because it's just the heat you need to bend shit back into place. But the League of Infamy are particularly rubbery looking and poor. Very, very poor. So.
And they don't bend back after they cooled?
Oh yeah, no, they'll bend. No. They're thermoplastic, not thermoelastic. Is that right? Yes. Elastic will snap back to the original shape.
So
it's possibly that one. It's been a long time since I've done plastics in chemistry, and I refuse to be drawn on it, especially not in a fucking hobby hangout.
I was very much amused on the weekend when Warren was, Jerry, have you done a Jerry can about pigments?
Unless they want another hour-long one, they'd be well off to actually keep an eye on what I'm doing.
I was...
Because otherwise it will be no, I haven't. You know what I'll do? I'll do a comprehensive pigment guide, because I know how much you enjoy my 3-hour-long Jerry cans being uploaded to Vimeo when they go, we're going to charge you because you're in our top band now because of the length of these fucking things.
I was actually shocked for a minute. I'm going, is he serious?
Nobody really pays attention to what I'm doing, to be brutally honest. They find it better not to. In the long run, it's just like, is stuff going out when it's supposed to be? Yes. What is the stuff? Nobody's willing to look. Even the editors edit it with their eyes closed. Fair enough. Move along, folks. Move along.
So, if I recall correctly, the pigment one was one of the first of the series called Jerry Can?
Yep. Could be worse. It could be when Tuffy went, have you seen this bird on YouTube? She's done something with Yoo-Hoo glue. Has she really? That's terrific. Blood effects. Yeah. Did you do drill? Did you watch the fucking video? Yes.
Hey Charles, I'm painting Kids on Wheels by Mork Miniatures. And Jerry is doing bad people.
I'm not doing bad people. I'm doing shivers. Doing the rozzers for Slay. Everybody likes a shiver patrol, shiver patrol. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Slap all the oil on, then walk the fuck away. Come back in the day, clean it all off.
Where's the reason of putting oil on and washing it off?
Depending on how you apply it, you can use it to tint, essentially stain the underlying colours. And you can also remove from very specific places, so I can remove it from the edges and leave it on the recessed parts and on the panels and stuff. So you can actually change these were yellow and red, and by the time I'm finished they'll just be sort of green and brown is the plan, or at least the theory.
And there's you wanted them for Stargrave, correct?
Yeah, sure, why not? I was looking at them the other day and I'm going, I've had these for a little while. I should do something with them. And I thought I could use them for Stargrave. And then I thought, if I go and get those bases, because they come on those terrible round lip things. Yeah. So I replaced them all with Sedition Wars molded plastic bases. The only reason to buy Sedition Wars, by the way, is for the molded plastic bases, which I think I may just cast. So I've got, resin versions of them, since Sedition Wars is never coming back. The game that killed Studio McVeigh.
I never even heard about the game until now.
Oh, it was one of Cool Mini or Not first board games. They took Mike McVeigh, a world he'd developed, which looked absolutely terrific, sculpts absolutely beautiful, and then they managed to produce a board game of such embarrassingly low quality that I'm surprised Cool Mini or Not had the fucking brass balls to go back on Kickstarter and ask for money to do another board game. Mostly what happened was everybody got the game, looked at it and went, yeah, this is all going to just go in a corner and we'll never talk of this again. Never talk of it again.
Yeah, I'm still astounded by the sheer amounts Cool Mini or Not is able to sucker from people just for random board game IP license.
Well, you say random board game, but at the end of the day, it's Zombicide, but a different flavour of Zombicide, because that's fucking, there's like 20 of them a year. Oh, cool, man, not have a new Kickstarter. What is it? Zombicide. Really? You surprise me. In fact, they're fucking on Kickstarter at the moment with Zombicide, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What month is it? I don't know. What flavour of Zombicide is on Kickstarter? It looks like some sort of fantasy thing. Oh, it must be summertime. Fucking Zombicide.
Learning the time of year by looking at Cool Mini or Not's Kickstarters.
I imagine that's exactly how it works.
Panzer wants to know if you have the shivers with shields and baton.
No, the shields didn't exist when I bought mine.
Shields didn't exist?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have metal and I have resin because I got them from the very first runs, and it was like I want to compare how the resin and the metal stand up to each other. And then the company went bust.
Mm.
And then post that, Dave and Jared had to step back in and essentially with somebody else resurrect Slay from the Daruma fuck stain. Daruma was so bad that they could have got a job working for Cool Mini or not. That's how fucking bad they were. So they went back, fulfilled everybody's Kickstarters, and then started expanding the range again. Which, you know, is nice. I'll leave a bit of that colour there so I can match it.
I'm always pleased when somebody is really passionate about his IP and is not just saying, oh, fuck it, somebody else ran it into the ground, I can't be bothered.
Oh, yeah. No, Dave, what a delightful bloke. He spent so many years developing it and working on it all. The fact that, you know, some cunts fucked it, I suppose. It's like, it's technically, I still own this company, I still own the property, they were licensing off me, now they've made me look bad.
I've got to fix things, otherwise I can't look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah. And he didn't have to. He could have just went, well, you know, these people are fuckwads. I'm terribly sorry for that. Hopefully the next people who do it won't be fuckwads. But, you know, he didn't. He grafted in. It's the same as, Sandy with Chaosium and Cthulhu. When they fucked the pooch completely. And he had to end up coming in and throwing money from his own company at Chaosium to prop it up when they discovered it was just like the current CEO, his daughter, his son-in-law had just shafted the company. Awful lot of fucks out there. Terrible, terrible fucks. If only we could get them into one place so we knew we could just avoid it. I suggest Cool Mini or not.
Yeah, it's... But I think we've passed the point of the very worst Kickstarter scammers. There were some projects in the early days of Kickstarter that were hilariously bad. And people still threw money at them for whatever reason.
I've got the train crate stuff. I think it's excellent. You need to bend into shape, but, you know, 2 minutes with a hairdryer, I don't really mind that. What do you think of watercolour paint in the hobby? I've never really tried it. I use an awful lot of acrylics, and any acrylic paint will do the job. Acrylic paint, acrylic ink, whatever. Oils I've just started to experiment with beyond using them for washes and pin washes. But watercolor, I'm not sure. It's very transparent, which means potentially could be good for glazes, although you'd probably need to have a glaze medium in it. I've not used a watercolor since I stopped doing art in 94. Yeah, I think 94 was the last time I put watercolor to paper. So they need to set.
Hairdryer.
Well, I was about to say I have a hairdryer beside me. With these, what I could do is blast them with a hairdryer to wick off the white spirits
Mm-hmm.
or thinners that's in them, so I can move on. But I won't. I'll just let them stew away, and I'll start into Obliwan and see how he goes. I have a hairdryer. Hang on a minute. Where's my hairdryer? I think it is literally behind me. This is a hairdryer that time forgot. I have no idea how fucking old this hairdryer is. There was a little guard on the back to stop things falling into the fans. It's gone a long, long time ago. And despite my luscious locks, I never use it on anything except minis and stuff, because, quite frankly, you should always let your hair dry naturally, otherwise it'll throw up.
Yes.
I'll end up looking like fucking Petey Wheatstraw.
You're going to look very ridiculous, especially if you have thin hair like mine.
Calligraphy inks are amazing. Sorry.
No, you're right.
See, the problem is I wouldn't want to remove things unless I really, I tend to handle my models quite a lot, and even acrylics can start to rub off if I'm not careful. So the fact that, look at that, look at all my lovely water on the top. The fact that you can remove them easily can be a blessing and a curse. Oil you can remove easily once you've got a solvent on there, and you've got days to work with it. But once it's dry, it's pretty much fucking on there for good. It's just going to key in and just stay where it is. So I mean, if you're neat enough and I'm going to say effective enough to work with a watercolor and then do the cleanup in the right, happy days. But the amount of times where I've ended up with no paint on the hair because I've painted like that with one finger on their head is not funny. And watercolors, because they're so matte, you'll find that will happen sort of easier, more often easier.
Too often.
I'd like skin tone, please. I'd like his Obi-Wan. You look quite light and freckly, don't you, you ginge? Let's go with some
Are you
basic
looking
skin
forward
tone.
to the TV series?
Of Obi-Wan?
Yes.
Am I? Because it's Star Wars. So yeah. I mean, as long as they don't do anything mental. Like, he's supposed to be on that planet looking after Luke. If he spends 14 of the 18 years not on the planet because he's all fucking herring around the galaxy being a Jedi, then it kind of goes against everything they've said.
I'm sure it's going to be some sort of sitcom where he's doing very stupid things and everybody having a laugh in the background. Some weird shit like that. Would be different.
It would be different. You are correct in that respect. We cannot argue with you there, as much as we might like to.
I'm cautiously optimistic since they've done a rather nice job on The Mandalorian. But I'm not going to praise them too much because the mouse has fucked up before, more than once.
When? So when they did Dumbo?
Oh, I think the complete line of real acting people doing reenactment of cartoon movies. Why would you do that?
Money.
Yeah.
I'm glad I sorted that for you. Hasn't he now got Baby Yoda? Who's got Baby Yoda? No, Luke's got Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but
not
that
Obi-Wan.
Luke is post Obi-Wan, so
Yeah.
get your timeline right.
Yeah, because I don't know what it was. Whenever Mandalorian started, in fact, throughout the entire first season, and into the second season, I had the impression it was closer to 7, 8, 9, you know, than immediately after. Because the way the Republic was patrolling and, you know, the Empire was supposedly gone and all the rest, none of that made it feel like it was just happened. It gave me the feeling that they'd been away for quite some time. So...
Yeah, but I think that's because it's the Outer Rim, which has been a lawless territory even in the Empire days.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like the Empire had just collapsed. It felt like the Empire had collapsed ages ago. The fact that they were banging on about the fact that he had an old ship that couldn't be picked up by the Republic. However,
Imperial surplus, no transponder.
It's literally a week and a half after the Empire was destroyed. Surely there should be fucking millions of those ships about. You know, the timelines don't sync up in any way, shape, or form for me. Because that look does not look like he's been, you know, through the ringer quite a bit. It's just...
Well, we can blame that on poor CGI.
No, I think that was a deliberate. You know, they wanted him to be that age of Luke. And I never got the impression it was so close to the end of Jedi. It always felt much closer to, you know, 7, 8, 9.
It's I think it's hard to get those things right, to be honest.
It does make a blind bit of difference in the long run.
Yeah,
it's just it just felt like it should have been further away than it did.
The movie, the series was, at least for me, very enjoyable. I had a blast watching it. That's one of the reasons why I did a podcast with Ralph on it, which will continue with the Bad Batch when it starts at what is it? May the 4th.
Really? Somebody has finally worked out that is a good day to release something on.
It's like they didn't have 40 years preparing.
And the weird thing is they've released a film in early May, you know, like 7 times, 8 times, and on no occasion did they go for May the 4th. The closest was, I think, May the 7th with like either New Hope or Empire. It's really peculiar. You know, the fucking marketing sells itself, especially nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's mainly because they had cinema releases, and those are somehow bound to weird days of the week for some archaic reasons. And with the video on demand, they can just go, fuck it, May the 4th, give us your money.
Even for the cinema, you know. You release it on May the 4th instead of May the 7th.
Make it a preview event.
People would be fucking lining up for it.
And paying extra premium dollars.
That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it.
The cow until it's dry.
It's the communist way.
Is that bloke holding a petrol bomb, he asks. The Toro's guy. No, I don't think it's a petrol bomb. Not yet, at least.
He's Scottish. I don't know if he follows Celtic or Rangers.
He's shaking his flashlight.
Not entirely certain why you're watching Champions League tomorrow. Or else the winner played last week.
144 Artist said Orville is better than Star Trek. Is a better Star Trek show. And I have to say, yeah, absolutely. It's a fucking great show. Even though I'm still annoyed by the fact that every other episode has a guest star from Star Trek.
I think this is mostly down to the fact that he really wanted to be in Star Trek because he's a Star Trek fan. I don't know if you've ever seen Red Letter Media.
The name rings a bell.
YouTube channel. They do mostly movie reviews, although they will also talk about TV on occasion. But two of them, Mike and Rich, are massive Star Trek fans. And it's been quite good because I couldn't give a shit about Star Trek. My brother's a big Trekker. I don't know. Who fucking knows? Anyway, so I never really cared. It didn't matter what they were doing to the Treks.
Mm.
I liked the J.J. Abrams Trek films because they were like Star Wars, i.e. interesting. Unlike the Star Trek films, which were not interesting. But listening to them absolutely hammer the current Star Trek, and Picard is just a joy to behold. It's fucking magical. And they did a review on the Orville, and they were just pointing out every way in which it was superior. It was a better Star Trek than the current Star Trek. There was so much so there was an episode where, I want to say his name's Bort, but I know he's not Bort. The Klingon-y type fella on the Orville and his husband were having a kid, and it turned out the kid was going to be female,
which is a horrible thing for his race, and needs surgery.
Yeah, but Star Trek Discovery had a similar storyline in one of their episodes at the same time. Both series both tackled that subject in the same season, sexuality and the like. And the Orville did a better job. A comedy show did a better job of tackling a dramatic, serious topic than the drama did, because they were too busy exploding somebody's face or something.
And they even pick up at that thing more often later in the show, in the second season, which is going to be a major plot point at some stage. That
144, that's more or less what Rich and Mike end up saying, that if they just laid off. And I think the first season there was an awful lot of those jokes because it was a case of the Orville was meant to be a comedy, and therefore they had to have jokes even if they weren't funny. But in the second season they started to reduce those. It's like they knew they'd been renewed and they didn't have to rely so much on terrible jokes.
And that's the one of the most important seasons episodes was when there were actually two Star Trek guest stars in one episode. One being Phlox from the Enterprise series, and the other one being the hologram doctor from Voyager.
I know the hologram doctor from Voyager. He was the Mexican cowboy type fella from Inner Space, and the head of security at Clamp Towers in Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Yeah, I think so.
He probably even has a name.
Possibly, but I have a problem with names, so I'm not going to pretend I know it. And even, if I remember correctly, even the actress who depicts Deanna Troi has made an appearance in the show. I think as a teacher on the Orville, if I'm correct.
Could be. Haven't seen any of the new series. So.
I've only watched the first two seasons. Still not getting season 3 anywhere on streams in Germany for whatever reason.
Brexit. Most things come down to Brexit, you will find.
This has been a problem long before, because the rights for things to be...
Sure wasn't Brexit?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to blame a lot of things on Brexit, and especially on some of your head politicians there, but that thing was a problem way before. So I'm not going to blame people for something that is very much a problem coming from the German way of using rights to distribute media. it has been ages. For example, the television series Friends was locked in some kind of weird. We have the sole right to show it in Germany for one company, so nobody could stream it to Germany. Same with Star Trek for a long time.
Galaxy Quest was amazing.
Yeah.
Never give up, never surrender. I can't be entirely positive, but the crew of the Galaxy Quest may all have been loyalists.
What has it been?
Loyalists. Never surrender. Never, never, never.
The Expanse is a nice series too, but it's a bit over the place. It started a bit like it felt a bit like a Twin Peaks in space at times.
Awesome. Oh, you've sold me. What's this called? The Expanse?
The Expanse.
Oh, I'll have to watch that now.
It had a very nice private eye detective character going in the first season, which was weird. He ended up being some kind of weird space alien medium thingamajig in the dream of somebody else.
Well, of course he is. Why would he not be?
And at some point, the complete series shifted towards being something more like Stargate in space.
Did it have MacGyver?
No, I think they didn't. Not yet, at least.
I'll have to have a look at some point for The Expanse. It's sort of semi on my list anyway. Babylon 5, James. Where are you up to? Series 1 is a bit slow going, but there's some nice episodes in it. But Series 2 really hits its stride. 2 and 3 and 4 are just phenomenal. 5 is tragic for reasons.
Because all of the dying, or?
No, because they didn't think they were getting a Series 5, so they wrapped up a lot of the storylines for the 5-year story in 4. And then it was just all sort of... There's a lot of filler in 5, a lot of made-up shit. But 2, 3, and 4 are fucking tremendous. And Ivanova is great. She's the right hand of God. She is death incarnate. Start on Series 2. That's probably the best way, to be fair. Although, there are episodes from Series 1 that are actually two-parters with episodes in Series 3, maybe Series 4. Oh, okay, so you've seen Series 1, that's all right. Because War Without End wouldn't make as much of an impact when you hit it without having seen that they'd already approached it from the other side 3 years previous.
Why are people freaking out about this?
No, see, Excalibur was a separate series. It was Babylon Crusade. Although actually the Excalibur and the Sister Ship were in a film first, but the Sister Ship was destroyed in Defending Earth with the Candyman at the helm, Tony Todd, ramming it into a death cloud. Spoilers, by the way, if you've not seen that film.
I think we are safe to say that we can't go for spoilers on 20 years plus old shows.
You can skip any season in Discovery and it was still don't make any sense. Yeah.
I think the most disappointing television series in the past 2 years I've seen was Star Trek What's Its Face.
Star Trek What's Its Face is a disappointing show.
Can't remember the name. Not Voyager. Oh, bloody hell. Where they first went from a rather decent series to a what, slightly better season with a Commander Pike, and then
Oh, Discovery.
Discovery, yeah, and then they go totally nuts.
Yeah. Like I say, I've never seen it, but I know all about it courtesy of Mike and Rich. And it's any Star Trek fan should tune into their shows. In fact, they've just started doing, I think yesterday, they put up their first review of Star Trek The Next Generation Series 1.
Oh god. do they allude on things like special effects?
They talk about everything in it. So for Series 1, for the review, normally the reviews they only they talk about stuff they like. And so for Series 1 of Star Trek The Next Generation, the challenge was to pick 3 episodes they liked, and they could only get to like 2.5 episodes because there was just so many. And they're going, it does get better. And then at one point they're even going, look at the, Series 2 onwards, they would actually go outside and film when they were supposed to be on a planet. Series 1, it was just like shit stages with dodgy trees and backlights and stuff. Enterprise I enjoyed, but I enjoyed Enterprise for 2 reasons. One, we had Scott Bakula on it, which meant I just assumed that the entire TV show was just him trapped, hoping his next leap was his leap home. Oh boy! And when you view it as a man who's not from that time running that ship, it's just so much better. And then
you need to explain to the kids what that means.
Quantum Leap was amazing. And then the second one is his engineer, the British guy, used to be a barber in a British sitcom called Desmond's, where the shop was owned by a West Indian called Desmond. His family were always running in and out. His best friend was a not a traffic warden, a lollipop man called Pork Pie. They were all West Indian and massive accents on them. And then they had like one token white character in it who was like this apprentice barber, and then he was in nothing for like 2 decades, and then all of a sudden he appeared in America on fucking Enterprise. And I'm looking at him going, I know you. Aren't you that barber from Desmond's? And I said it to my friends who are big Star Trek fans. And they're all going, oh, you're fucking right. Going, where did he come from? What was he doing?
Going from cutting hair to cutting corners.
Sliders was good fun because you had Jonathan Rhys-Davies in it.
Oh yeah.
Well, you did at the start. I think they lost him at some point, didn't they? It all gets a bit blurry. I knew a bloke who wrote a game called the Nearside Project, where you could move between different realities. And the second edition came out shortly after Sliders was on TV. And I remember the amount of people who were going, like Sliders? I was going, no, not like, I had this idea years before that. It's fucking, just say yes, Steve. Just go, yes, the Nearside Project is exactly like Sliders, and move on with your life. Because, it's not going to get any better. I put my Dark Flesh. There's Dark Flesh there. That's terracotta.
Is bringing up Lex, and that's a series to behold.
Oh, Lex is... yeah, Lex is isn't it? I mean, when you get right down to it,
a
Lex.
giant insect brain-eating starship with a man-devouring, sex-hungry nympho.
And unless we forget Kai, the last of the Bruna G.
Yes.
The assassins.
The space
golf. Fuck me. It's like, yeah, space golf or space new romantic. Not really sure what was going on with either of that, to be brutally honest.
And didn't they have weird guest appearances, if I remember correctly? There was Rutger Hauer in one episode, and Tim Curry in another.
To be fair, both of those would show up to the opening of an envelope. Lex, yeah. Lex is one of those things where you have to watch Lex, and then I was going to say you have to watch Lex to understand it. You won't understand it. You have to watch it to appreciate it. But the budget must have been big, because the shows themselves were like fucking mini movies, and at the time had a load of, you know, special effects or CGI or whatever in it.
Yeah, they did a lot of weird effects. Especially when the ship went down something to get something to eat.
Yeah. The problem is, Series 1 and Series 2 essentially had exactly the same ending. You know, go through the special teleporty thing to stop the insect race. You know, it's just like, didn't you do this last year? You know, you're doing exactly the same thing again.
Yeah.
Anyone watch Barbarella? Barbarella was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I heard they are planning a remake on Barbarella.
Lex was German, Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Lex wasn't German.
Yes, it was. Actually, it was.
German funded, you mean?
If I remember correctly, it was a co-production between Germany, France, and England.
Could have been, but it was all filmed in Australia.
And the actress was German.
Well, the first one or the blonde
first
one that they
yeah.
replaced her with in Series 2?
Oh, the first one.
Right, that's probably why she didn't say much. No, it wasn't a German language. It was all Australians, Dutch, across the board. The entire thing was filmed in some sunny part of Australia in a warehouse. Which is why I'm shocked that anybody would think it's German. Because at no point did I ever go, well, this is clearly German.
Barbarella already has a sequel. It's on Pornhub. It's probably by the same who did Flash Gordon or something.
It got a sequel, but not Flash Gordon. Now, there's a thing. There was a Welsh comedy called Fun at Funeral Parlour. I think I've mentioned this before. Anyway, sitcom about a family that runs a funeral parlour in Wales. And at one point, they end up naked with the body up in the mountains somewhere. And the family's coming, and the widow and all, and they don't know what to do. And Brian Blessed has been running about the entire episode, screaming things like, Flash Gordon never got a sequel, but Flash Gordon did. Dive, my hawkmen, dive. And just, you know, sort of running about like a lunatic, playing himself in a hyper-realistic way. And so he goes, you know, the widow's coming, they're naked, they've got the coffin, they're up a mountain, and it's like, leave it to me. And he goes off, grabs the widow before she gets to him, explains that her husband was a dear friend of his and a mountain climber and a naturist, and therefore had requested that they all be nude. So the rest of the funeral part all get naked on this mountainside, looking very confused, especially the widow who'd never heard of this. And then they look at Brian Blessed and go, are you getting naked as well? And Brian went, no, and runs off across the mountain, jumping up and down, flapping his arms like wings, shouting, dive, my hawkmen, dive. And that is worth looking up. If you can find Fun at the Funeral Parlour, go for it. It was like BBC Wales or something. It got one series, and it was shown at like fucking 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, just to really make sure that nobody could find it.
Imagine being part of the team filming that.
Oh, imagine just being somebody mountain climbing or hill walking up Snowdonia or something, and there's Brian Blessed running about flapping his arms. So what the fuck have I walked into?
I don't know what I've taken, but I need to stop.
Yeah.
So, what color will this little guy get? I'm pretty undecided. He has some kind of big jacket.
Puffy jacket?
Yeah, these like Marty McFly has in Back to the Future.
Well then, like Marty McFly, then it should be red. It's red, reddy orange.
I think
mine was navy.
I think it was a bright orange because they asked him if the Navy had him go off with a life vest or something. But a bright orange. orange fire by Game Color. I think that's nice.
Very orange.
I think the jacket he wore under the vest was red, but I may be mistaken.
I don't know. It's been so long.
For some weird reason, Brian Blessed gets in my YouTube feed every now and again in the recommendations.
Good.
I click on YouTube, and somewhere in between there is a Brian Blessed going, Brian Blessed cursing for 10 minutes. Brian Blessed's jokes, 5 minutes. What? Where's that coming from? And I never can be stopped. And
Well, I
I
can't
always
be
look at it.
I can't be entirely certain, but it may have something to do with the time I told you to watch that Brian Blessed interview.
That's very, very much possible.
In my defense, it's a fucking cracking interview.
He's a force to be reckoned with when being
He's
interviewed.
a force of nature, yeah.
He's a Hawkman after all.
Was that interview the one where he was running around naked with somebody? Or was that Richard Harris and Peter O'Toole? No, that was Richard Harris and Peter O'Toole. Now that, any interviews you can find with either of those lunatics is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, James just tells everybody he's getting old OTT videos with Young Locking Warren and Ben recommended on YouTube, and for some weird reason that is happening to me too occasionally. It's weird.
Well, the reason Jerry just looks the same is Jerry's only been there for about 2 years. So I've hit the point where I don't age. I just sit there.
And why aren't you on the Teams page yet again?
It seems like a lot of hassle.
Yeah, but they made a page about free.
Yeah, they did. That's because they went, neither of you are on the team page. You should write some bio question-y type things and fill them in. And I went, people know who I am.
It's the Jerry can, man.
There's a meet the team page. Tom is my favorite on the meet the team page because it's just all in binary.
Yeah, and it actually makes sense if you decode it. That's the best thing about it.
That is Tom in a nutshell. It's either wrestling or random jokes like that. Right, Mr. Man.
Yeah, Demon Sub, there's a team page on Tabletop. You need to scroll down to the very bottom. There's somewhere a link called Meet the Team. And
Confused with Meet the Feebles, which is different.
The first faces that will greet you there are Warren, Lloyd, and Justin, followed by Ben, Tim, and I think 3 is somewhere in between.
Sure, could be.
Oh,
I don't want.
John, of course, is part of that page as well.
Thing is, I don't want to take anything away from the rest of the team, so I find it better if I just don't. I just stay in the background, let the other people shine. Really, I'm doing them a service. You might not be able to see this here. I'm just using a dry brush to slowly blend the oils away from where they are, so I can remove patches and lighten areas. So it's just a clean brush.
The last Let's Play I've seen you do with Justin was Dystopian Wars. That
Yes.
felt a bit weird, you both having masks on.
Well, I look after my mother, and I'm not going to get coronavirus and kill her off just for the sake of a Let's Play.
No, it's beyond me implicating that you shouldn't wear a mask. By all means, if you feel safer, do it. It's just
We've
it's
done
weird.
quite a few with masks on.
Yeah, but usually most Let's Plays are games that don't pique my interest, and Dystopian Wars is interesting to a degree. I don't know why. Maybe because the ships are so big that my clumsy old hands actually would be able to handle them. He did climb Everest without oxygen and stole other climbers' food. I suppose he is Brian Blessed. Oh, Taffy, when did you sneak in?
Oldest man to climb Everest without oxygen, but I don't think he made it to the. I can't remember if he made it to the top. I remember they had to turn back because somebody in the party, somebody substantially younger, was suffering the effects of oxygen deprivation from being too high. And on another occasion, Brian stopped to help another party. Which must be really weird when a man in like his 70s/80s stops to help you because you, as a young person, cannot fucking climb the mountain that the old duffer is walking up, presumably with a walking stick.
Yeah, and now imagine meeting that same old guy somewhere down the mountain in a cafe. You should be embarrassed a bit. Oh, silly me. I totally forgot.
It's not bad. Where's my...
Background music.
Do we?
Yeah, I totally forgot. I actually found someone doing...
Cthulhu-based background music?
No, 80s horror synthwave.
Alright, well that's...
Well, I'm
Pretty much the
guessing
same.
you won't be hearing it unless you turn on your stream music.
Yeah, no. It's not that I don't want to hear us slightly after we say something, saying it again. It's just I don't want to hear us.
It's always a weird thing to hear your own voice repeating things you just said, or maybe just thought. You never know. You never know. So, to be honest, my progress is much slower than I had thought it would be. Because looking at the clock, we are an hour in, and I have finished one bloody mini.
Depends what you're looking to achieve, really, I suppose.
Yeah, I was actually just see how it goes. If
You
I
know what,
actually could be holding,
You've seen how it goes now.
hold my mini as long under the camera that somebody has a fighting chance of seeing anything. Because the first time I tried doing something like this, I realized I'm pulling the mini back to me so close that no camera would actually be able to pick up anything. So I would have to set up something like a crotch cam, and nobody wants that.
That is a delightful thought. I think I'm with everyone when I say we all want to see your crotch cam.
Well, you can see the camera, but I'm not going to show you what the camera sees.
Tightly scripted for French. I heard something about Blade Runner the other day. It's in the Alien universe. Yeah. That was a Ridley Scottism. He did a lot of weird shit. Although we have to thank him for the vagina mouse predator.
If you're not nice to women, this is what's going to happen to your PP.
Hmm.
Nom 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 nom.
Apparently the guy who was designing the he was asked to redesign the Predator, rather, because they already had one. Was working with Ridley on something. Was it Ridley or was it James Cameron? Oh, I can't remember now. Anyway, whoever it was, one of these other high-class directors, and they're coming back on a plane, and the guy's sketching away, and the fella leans across and suggests vagina mouth.
It was to be a joke, but now we have vagina mouth predator. And
I don't think it was a
everywhere.
joke. I think 100% he knew what he was doing.
You think he saw an opportunity and he took it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think using black as a primer was a bad choice.
Yep. I've not used black as a primer since I was a kid. There was this thing that went around at one stage that it made it faster to paint your miniatures. And I have to say, no. Even if your miniature is going to be all black, still no. Grey. Grey is the way to go.
I was a bit afraid that on the metal miniatures I wouldn't be able to see the differences as well as I wanted to.
Wash it and then hit it with a zenith, or give it a really hefty zenith.
Predator, amazing film considering half of it is staring at trees. Don't
Yep.
forget the awesome scene where the three guys start shooting trees like maniacs.
There's the thing, because I was I've rewatched it recently, and then I had to introduce Lena to Predator 2 because she'd never seen it. I was like, oh, this is terrible. But there's a bit in Predator when it's before it hits the alien stage, when it's still just the crew going in to do the mission, and Billy Bear comes across the dead bodies of the locals or the soldiers, and they've been ambushed, and they're standing there and they're talking. He's going, yeah, there's no tracks. They were firing in every direction. They didn't hit anything. I can't understand what was going on. And then later on, the exact same thing happened to the highly trained mercenary unit, firing everywhere, all directions, nothing around them, no idea what they're firing at, which was a beautiful callback that I'd missed over the last 20 odd years, and how many times I've watched it. So yeah, there's a lot going on in that film. It's remarkably good. I just also discovered from the director's commentary, I think it is, that the fact that it starts with the alien spaceship landing was something the director didn't include, didn't want, but the studio put in. Because if you think about it, there's no talk about aliens. There's no mention of aliens. You don't see aliens until shit starts to go wrong for things. It's like From Dusk Till Dawn, the first half of the movie is just a commando-like movie. Bunch of burly big men with massive rippling biceps in the jungle shooting things. And if they recut that and took that fucking opening with the alien spaceship landing out, so that people, the first time they actually know that there's aliens there is when the Predator starts fucking with them, it would be a far more interesting movie, and I think far more effective as well.
But probably people would be very much irritated.
No, I mean, I wasn't irritated from Dusk Till Dawn whenever it went from road movie to vampire movie.
No, I wasn't irritated, I was slightly annoyed.
It was great. Seen the news about scientists reviving. Yeah, I did. I seen that. I was like, you know what? 2020 isn't over yet. Please do not revive. And it wasn't just that they revived the 100 million year old bacteria from the seafloor. It was the fact the quote was something to the effect of they put food near it
And it started eating it.
we're surprised at the fact that the bacteria revived very quickly and consumed the food. And you're going, you were surprised? Why would you do this? Fucking why?
Yeah, it makes you think.
Do-do-do-do. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
I'd buy that for $1, Doug.
Club a sale to make a better deal. You know I'll do it because I'm crazy.
Yeah, RoboCop is a movie in its own right.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
So, let's see if I can get this wrong.
Using oils is very peculiar.
Why?
Well, with acrylics, if you want to have a transition with acrylics, you pull the pigment in the direction you want, because the amount of pigment in acrylics is fairly lacking. Even in the best acrylics, it's fairly lacking. With oils, you have to push it away because it's so fucking pigment rich. It's almost like painting in reverse. It's not a different skill set, but it's a different mindset. You're having to go, okay, I want the majority of the paint to be in the crevice, therefore I need to put the majority of the paint in the crevice to begin with, and then sort of pull back. It's just arse about face for somebody who spent so many years playing with acrylics.
I think that's one of the main reasons why I am so not using anything else but acrylics, because I have heard that before on other videos and streams that oil painting is basically the reverse of acrylics painting, and I think I would go mental. I'm so bad at changing my train of thought.
Well, I'm willing to give it a go because I'm curious.
But you know what they say, curiosity will kill the cat.
Curiosity not only killed the cat, but tied lead weights to its feet and threw it in the yank. I do like the look of that though, where you can kind of see the red and the yellow underneath. You probably can't at home, but I can. There may or may not be pictures in the XLBS, depending on how I'm feeling. I've completely forgot to fucking clean up the helmet lights. Oopsie.
You say oopsie. My wife actually asked me yesterday, as I went, whoopsie, what do the British say on oopsie? I say they say oopsie too. They just pronounce it a bit different.
Probably learned it from that German royal family that they have.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that.
Well, the term of endearment between Phil the Greek and the Queen is cabbage, which I'm pretty sure is a Germanism. Little cabbage.
Well, if you would call any German girl a cabbage, I'm pretty sure you're in for a slap.
Well, you know, these things go out of flavour. You have to remember they're
That's
they're 100.
Yeah, and was that joke going? And God made the heaven and the seas. And what about her? Oh, I don't know. She has been here before me.
she was here when I started.
Tuffy just mentioned that she's liking it up her crevice. However, we shall take that on now. I don't know what she's trying to say. Tell us with that.
It's like Morton Hart from Aha. Take it on. Like it up in the crevice. I don't know. Yeah, using red as shadow colour for the green.
Welcome back, Alloyd. Is your fleet painted yet? Since they're so small, I'm guessing it's a short paint job. Just hit him with the airbrush. And then give it a short dry brush after that. What is paint, he asks. Paint is the thing you don't lick from the brush. So am I told. So I am told. See, my grammatics are starting to degrade again. Clear sign of me being too sober and too long awake.
Yep. Just remember, kids, if you don't understand him, then come to him privately and he will take you in his German mouth. Alles klar.
I will teach you the way. And I will give you a certificate if you can give me proper articles on everything I show you. Die Banane, das Brot, der Notfall. Oh, the days, yes. Basil how do you pronounce it? Polidorius? Great music. I actually have the Conan of the Barbarian OST on my drive because I bought it at some point. And I'm so happy that there are no sound samples from Arnold on it.
What? Outrageous.
Conan, what is best in life? To drive the enemy before you.
Yeah, the lamentations of the women.
The man. They don't make movies like that anymore.
No,
I'm not sure if I'm sad or happy about it. I think I go with sad at this point.
There was talk at one stage of Arnold reviving Conan for Conan the King, or yeah.
I actually, when I first saw the movie, at the end credits, he is sitting on the throne with the beard and everything. And
yeah.
I would have sworn they would have made had they made a second part shortly after this movie with him as king of some country, it would have been a great movie to watch.
I think the downside was they just didn't quite get the viewing figures, darling. Didn't get the numbers.
And I don't know why. It's such an interesting popcorn cinema evening.
Because Sword and Sorcery or Sword and Sandals never really sells. Fantasy movies are, up until Lord of the Rings, I don't think there'd ever been a fantasy movie that had actually done well at the box office. Some had managed to claw back on like home movie and DVD and shit like that, but for some reason, up until Lord of the Rings, most people had looked at it and went, nah. So, you know, they were niche, which is a shame because, you know, a lot of people have missed out on David Carradine in the Sword and Sorceress, which is just fucking terrible. I mean, awesome. And has to be seen to be believed. It also has the added benefit that it's another version of Yojimbo, the most replicated film of all time, I think. You know, the amount of
Clones.
the amount of remakes of Yojimbo, you know, so you've got, you know, Fistful of Dollars and then Sword and the Sorceress and the Bruce Willis one, Last Man Standing, and there's another famous one. But yeah, fucking Yojimbo just seems to get remaked all the fucking time. So,
Well, if a formula works, why shouldn't you?
Magnificent Seven was Seven Samurai, not Yojimbo. Same director, different movie. But in the Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, and Battle for the Stars, which was the space version. I'm positive there's another Yojimbo.
Oh, Red Sonja was also a very nice one.
Good old John Boy Walton. Aren't we at the end of your time? Should you not be going to bed or something, son?
I think I'll finish the socks on this one, and then...
You finish the socks on that one. I'm going to go back and put a brown wash over this armor. Anybody wants to know how these have turned out, I will probably do something. Probably use it as my hobby time. Because I do quite like them. They're working for me. They're working for me.
They're making me money.
Yeah. Some amount of green in that.
I think adding thin stripes to socks at this stage of getting tired and dizzy in the head is a bad decision, but I'm sticking with it.
That's one way of doing it. You know, just because you've made a bad decision,
Yeah,
there's no reason not to change.
In the time you weren't on stream, I finished a complete army of orcs and goblins, which is now sitting in the closet behind me. I'm not getting them out again. You've missed them. It's your fault. And you're not going to see them on the YouTube video because I stopped recording for that moment. Ha!
You're such a tease.
Yeah. But then again, if I wouldn't be, more people could get to the stream, and nobody wants more people in stream now.
That is true. People are the worst.
Also, did we mention cunt?
I did.
Oh yes, we did.
Oh, don't worry. At no point was I not going to mention that.
I'm still trying to get some decent recording of me using all the British and especially Irish swear words at the very beginning of the stream, so that the
Shitehawk.
the YouTube algorithm
Shitehawk is a
catching
magnificent swear word that rarely gets used.
Shite.
Shitehawk. That's our gift from Ireland to the rest of the world.
I think I need to make a forum entry and collect weird curse words in different languages, so that the algorithm gets something to chew on.
Fuck that algorithm and the horse it rode in on, huh?
Oh, I did tell you about the video that got a copyright claim for the 7-second sword
Yeah,
fight.
the deluge.
Yeah, it has been pulled back. It seems
Right.
like the fact that I said, look, we don't have audio, it's just a short clip, and there are literally hundreds of similar videos on YouTube not being demonetized or cancelled. Seem to have put it into perspective, I guess.
That's some copyright troll prick. That's what that is.
Yeah, or a badly designed bot running wild.
Oh, you know.
Arse biscuits, that's a nice one, Tuffy.
Arse biscuits. We had a Dragon Slayers pub quiz team called Arse Biscuits one night.
Why would you do that?
Just so every round they would have to announce Arse Biscuits and our number. It was actually the Antrim Roleplay Society experience incorporating the improvisational theatre. Was it the Improvisational Theatre Society? Arse and Tits. That was it. So we give them the acronym Arse and Tits.
Don't ever let creativity run wild in a pub.
Certainly not at Dragon Slayers. For one of the cons of Q. Back when they used to have... Do you remember when they used to have those, Steve? They used to have Q cons, and they would have games, at QCon and not people dressed like fucking furries. Fuck me.
Do you remember conventions as a whole? People meeting up?
Oh, I don't mind those because they're still going. I'm particularly bitter about the only one we had in Northern Ireland being fucking taken over by a bunch of PlayStation wielding furry fucks.
Did I pull a lever on you now? There, you seemed a bit excited.
Fucking hacked off. That's what I am. We used to enjoy ourselves. We used to play games. No games at that gaming convention anymore.
Hello, Mac of Mark. You're late to the stream.
Maybe he's early for next week's. Didn't think of that, huh?
Oh, yes, I'm right.
Same.
I'm wrong, you're right. Totally apologizing because early bird catches the stone or something.
Yep.
And if everything goes according to plan, I'm now in the progress of gluing my finger to the base.
Oh, that's my favourite bit. Oh, where are you on the streamy thing? Even on the stream? I can't even be arsed.
I don't know how about you or everybody else in stream, but the smell of
White spirits?
no,
Whiskey?
CA glue is
Alright.
taking me back to my very first miniature.
Take me back to those days when I used to half glue in a bag around the back of Dunn stores. Is that what you're saying?
Same but different.
Alright. Was I close?
Yes.
Today's boutique. Germany must have a patron saint.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there is someone. Trouble is, I
It's
wouldn't
not how
care.
go out in the lash for it. Very, just you know, I feel bad for you is that you're not going out in the lash.
To be honest, I don't understand what you're saying.
Have a drink.
Oh.
You go. It's patron saint of Germany. I'm going to look it up.
So-
Fuck you.
The funny thing is, there are certain Catholic holidays when it's actually forbidden to have fun. So
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. There's fucking loads of them. St. Paddy's is in the middle. I guarantee you, St. Paddy's Day is March 17th because it's generally in the middle of Lent, and God looked down and went, "We need a break in Ireland in the middle of Lent." St. Boniface, apparently. Is that right? I would love this. Blah blah blah. 5th of June. It's 5th of June. Is that a saint day?
could be. I wouldn't know.
You don't all have a day off and go on the lash.
The
He's
thing
stabbing. He's stabbing a book. Why is he stabbing a book?
Depending on which part of Germany you're in, the holidays are different because Catholic and the other flavors of Christianity get different days off, obviously. So we've got Christmas and we've got Easter, and that's about it. And the other days are spread around the year with varying degrees of I could give a fuck borders.
Right. The rest of the world is very peculiar. Very peculiar. My favourite one is when the lunatics in England go off on one about St. George's Day. You know, like the English Defence League and those sort of nutbags, you know, the fucking Nazi light. And they complain bitterly that, you know, nobody does anything on St. George's Day. And it's like, well, you know, whose fault is that? That's not foreigners coming into your country and stopping you from doing something. That's just none of yous giving a shit, you know. At no point did somebody come and go, you know what, Ireland, you really need to go nuts on St. Paddy's Day and take that across the world. That was just us. You know, if you need an excuse for a celebration, then fucking find an excuse for a celebration. I find halfway through Lent you need an excuse, and St. Paddy's Day is that excuse. So much so that one year I remember a new parish priest and his sermon actually said, because everybody in Ireland does it, you know, you can be off drink for Lent or off whatever and all the rest and doing your damnedest, but you're allowed to break it at St. Paddy's Day. And he actually stood up at the altar and said, you can't break it at St. Paddy's Day. That's not a thing. Stop trying to make that a thing. And we all looked at him as if to say, you fucking what? I think you'll find, Father, that is indeed a thing, and we will indeed not be fucking fasting or abstaining from drink on the 17th of March. We will in fact be getting fucking shit-faced, because God would want us to.
Why else would he have sent you his saint?
Exactly.
Yes. So, minis are based. Paints are 50% done.
Paint is 50% done.
Yes.
Show off. I mean, I've got to go whenever you all fuck off. I'll hit these with a hairdryer and then clean up the brown part. But I quite like how the yellow and red looks under the green oil wash. I'm starting to experiment more with tones and colours and shapes, I suppose. For want of a better word.
I'm trying to make a picture. Let's see if my skills do something. They do look a bit scary. With the white hair and the weird faces.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Are you talking about your kids or my shivers?
The kids. The kids are back in town.
Since Giddy Fort was a dog. Sounds amazeballs.
Miracles did it. Well,
No St. Paddy's Day here. You fucking weirdos. I think you'll find there is. Probably because you're locked inside you won't notice it, but I guarantee you, I'd be hard pressed to find a country in the world where if you found a bar on March 17th, there would not be a handful of Irish in it getting shit-faced. Regardless of whether or not your country thinks it's a day off for drinking. It is. You just need to find the pub. Anyone in Sweden, I suggest if you're near Stockholm, go up Norrlandsgatan and hit the International. Tell Jerry and Jono I said hi. Nigeria celebrates it in a big way. They're big fans of the Guinness in Nigeria.
are they?
Big. Oh, fuck man. So much so we set up a brewery in Nigeria to do Guinness. It's called Foreign Extra Stout. It's more better than regular Guinness and about twice the percentage. It's fucking amazing. And it's so amazing that St. James's Gate started brewing the foreign stout in Dublin to sell to people who weren't in Nigeria.
I'm always baffled by what names people are giving their beers. Foreign stout. Yeah, that could mean literally anything.
Well, in this case, it means stout that isn't made in Dublin. It's
now,
foreign.
Now it's made in Dublin, or isn't?
Oh no, it's still made in Dublin, but it differentiates it between the regular stout and the foreign stout. I'm going to put my white spirits over there out the way. This actually doesn't work too badly as a little setup for filming. I'm going to try and work out if I can actually do like little live streamy type things during the week when I'm actually having to do shit. Because otherwise I'm just sitting here doing shit and it's awfully fucking dull.
I can see that, yes.
Well, you know.
So this
Particularly because there's a big fucking orc death stomper thing that I have to build and paint over the next couple of weeks, and it'd be nice just to be able to do that live.
Are you a bit further down the line with the innards you wanted to put into it?
No, I've got to start building it. I was mostly going through the build process and looking at it and going, well, I need to drill holes here, I need to drill holes here. I'm not going to put the innards inside because I want to have that separate. So, but what I am thinking is I'll just I'll drill out channels, because there are actually there's little 3D printed curvy parts to take right angle turns and stuff to stop the hose kinking that you can attach to the inside and run the hose through it and things. So yes, beamish.
What do you mean no beard? Jerry has a beard for days.
Jerry's beard got trimmed back because Jerry had to be able to put a mask on and not have
There's
the fucking
very clearly a
beard
beard.
go up his mouth.
I don't know what he's talking about. So, this has been a year. A fucking whole year of... let's call it shite. For lack of a better word. You lot helped me stay sane, whatever level that is.
Jesus, aim low, achieve your goals. That's
Yeah.
what I say. Yeah.
Still haven't killed anyone.
Well done, you.
Yeah, but I still have the
Say nothing.
my shovel on hand, and I've still got my big garden. No, Allied can't cancel your trial for 2021. That time has passed. What I would have been without you. Oh, I'm guessing a very poor sort, crying myself to sleep for the last 6 months or something. And I've learned a lot of curse words.
Nice.
Yes. Nice. And this is the light at the end of the tunnel, and the end of the stream is closing. Jerry, thanks for joining at this very special occasion.
Always a pleasure.
You
You could have had one of these, but Lena doesn't love you as much as she loves me.
Yeah, she told me when she went to Essen that year. Oh, by the way, hi Lena, we didn't forget you.
I did.
Jerry said hi, but not from you to me.
Jerry dropped something on the floor while he was reaching for his whiskey.
Well,
Is it important? Oh, it's just a...
as long as you don't drop the whiskey.
No, don't drop the whiskey. It's just a scrap bit of plastic card. You can tell what jerry cans are coming up by what shit is around me at any given time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to potentially have you, Ben, and Warren in the background tomorrow when I'm still working for weird reasons. So, everybody, if you haven't seen Ben, and I'm not talking about furry Ben,
Sexy Furious.
I'm talking about Big Ben.
Big Ben.
If you haven't experienced him going off on a rant,
Oh, yeah.
oh hell, that's a joy to behold.
I don't think I have.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you have. I'm just saying Zulu.
I don't think we're going to be talking about Zulu tomorrow. I think we're talking about
Beer?
wars in Ireland. I think is how Warren pitched it to me.
Wars in Ireland.
Conflicts in Ireland. So I'm going to start the bidding with the Troubles. And then go from there.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
I think that's going to be interesting. With that.
I won't be asked back to another fucking OTT radio thing, I'll tell you that. Do your damage early.
Or you'll have to do the next one all by yourself. As punishment. Have a good one, guys. Till next week.
Bye.
Bye.